Allfather here, and today I'm going to be bringing an attack strategy video, something I have been working on and noticed by looking at some other YouTubers, and it's a strategy called basically Queen ZAP, and what we're going to be looking at is how to potentially fight easier without heroes and find a strategy that isn't so dependent on taking care of the enemy queen with a kill squad, especially if she's buried. So specifically what we're going to look at is a Queen ZAP Laloon, meaning that we're going to zap, as it sounds like, the queen, and we're going to do that when she's in the range of an air defense, and in so doing we're going to take out the queen and the air defense with lightning, which leaves the only main threat to a Laloon, other than just not doing it right, being the clan castle troops, and we'll go ahead and see some ways to deal with that as well. But just to get an idea of this and how you would scout a base for a Queen ZAP Laloon, this village is a good example here, and you see the queen is right next to the air defense, or at least within a wall of it, and these are the kind of bases that you're looking for, where the queen is right next to an air defense and the rest of the base is designed well for a Laloon, i.e. spread out air defenses, and the anti-air defense such as whiz towers and archer towers are close to those air defenses where they would be distracted by the loons. So the first thing we're going to look at here is just the path of the queen. So when you're doing a Queen ZAP, you need to know where she's going. So if it's in war, obviously you have the ability to scout this out. If you're doing a multiplayer raid, it's a little harder, but not all that difficult to see. But what we're going to do is we're just going to plot her course. You notice how she walks around in a very specific pattern and does it the same way every time. So what I'm going to do is just plot where she stops with these red dots and just see what her path looks like. And you know, it takes a little bit of time to do, but it's not terribly difficult. So everywhere she stops, we're just going to make dots, and then we're going to go ahead and draw her pattern once we get the dots taken care of. Looks like she sort of stopped there, but not really. Alright, so now we're going to start drawing it out where she goes. She goes straight there, and she kind of comes up here and jumps the wall. And she hops another wall and stops. And the one thing you notice is that sometimes she stops at different places for different amounts of time, so you want to take note of that. Sometimes she goes really quickly, like there, where she really quickly hopped to that next spot. And then she goes here. And then she comes around there. So, and that's kind of her pattern. So that's what you need to know. And you see it's kind of a series of long and short and quick and fast as far as how she stops. So what you want to do is figure out when is she going to be stopped right next to that air defense, and that is where we're going to drop the lightning spells, because it needs to take her out, and the lightning needs to take out the air defense as well. And so once we have the pattern designed, we just need to make sure we drop that lightning when she is on her way across here. So this path right here, when she starts crossing there, now we would drop it, boom, 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 and it's going to take her out. So the question is, how many lightning spells? And if you look up a tutorial from Gotti HH, he's got a good one that shows exactly what levels and how many lightning and what level the lightning need to be for which level queen. So I'm not going to go into all that here. Somebody has already done that work. If you're interested in it, look up his YouTube tutorial on the Queen ZAP. But basically, if you have level 6, which is max lightning at Town Hall 9, a queen of 15 or under should be able to take out with 3. I'm going to recommend in most instances taking 4 lightning spells just in case. And in addition to that, just in case she doesn't go down, sometimes she is left with a sliver of health, we're going to make sure to bring a poison spell, and that is going to go ahead and take her out the rest of the way. So without going into a whole lot more detail on how to Laloon, if you need to learn how to do that, that's a whole different video and you need to figure that out on your own. This is for somebody who understands the concept of Laloon, and this is just a matter of a new way of taking care and dealing with the main threats of it. So we're going to go ahead and look at some replays from the multiplayer attacks. You can see here on the attack log, The top three there, 100% 3 stars, and you see the army composition that we're going to bring. I've got one with 3 lightning spells and a rage, another one with 4 lightning spells and the haste spell. And so you can bring a poison as well as a haste, 2 poison, a couple different options there, and I'll explain each one just a little bit as we look at it. All right, we're going to go ahead and pause that. Here's the first one. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. A couple things that lend this to a Laloon. Obviously, you see max air defenses, and so this shows that it can be done with a max Town Hall 9 base. You also notice that the Queen is down here, right next to an air defense. Now, in war, would this be the case? Probably not, but she might be on the other side of it, so it's still going to work just fine with a buried Queen. The key is that she is right up next to it. And then from there you see obviously some nice aspects being that the expos are on ground. That's going to be another key thing. And a lurable clan castle. And that's also going to be important because obviously you can't just launch a Laloon into a dragon or something like that, as it's going to get blown up in a hurry. So it's going to be important that you have a plan to try to discern what is in the clan castle and pull it out. In war, that's most likely going to be dragons and loons, and so you're going to have a strategy to lure the clan castle. In an anti-3-star base with a very difficult lure, you're either going to have to use your loons to get in part of the base and lure, or go with a different strategy. But again, as we go ahead and get ready to play this, you notice right as the Queen is on top of that defense, 3 lightning spells. She's level 9, so 3 is all it takes. 3 is all it takes to get rid of an air defense. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do a lure here, just like you would in a war scenario. Going for a 3-star, you want to try to make sure that you know what's in there. And we'll go ahead and pause it right there. You notice the spell combination that was brought, 2 poison spells. Because that's a lurable clan castle, if it is a dragoon, we know that we can just use a double poison and take care of it. So in that case, we'll have an AD down, Archer Queen down, and poison the clan castle troops, and it's just Laloon from there. So there was no clan castle troops, but if they were, that's what the poison spells would have been for. And then you can just see here, you bring the 4 lava hounds and 26 balloons as the remainder. You can obviously mix that up if you find a preference that works better. But we start out with 2 lava hounds going at the first air defense. You always attack air defenses 1 at a time with the Laloon attack. It's the easiest way to do it, the most efficient, and tanks your loons for you effectively. So the first one goes down, the next hound is going in over here, followed by the targeted loons. You don't want to spam your loons because they'll just all start hitting the same defense. And then 1 left in the clan castle. You see, because it only took 3 lightning spells, we were able to bring a rage here. The 4th hound comes in, and then it's just a matter of that hound getting to the last air defense, a few more targeted loons on the back side, and from there you just kind of let it go. Now you see the Archer Queen's not even down yet, and that's why I said this. The point of this is to find a strategy where it's not reliant on having your heroes. Does drop the Archer Queen there at the end, but she's just cleaning up. Not necessary for taking care of the base. Obviously there's enough pups and loons left over that they would take care of that base for it. So we'll go ahead and speed it up a little bit so you can see it to the end, but you see that taking care of the Queen, the potential clan castle troops, and the Laloon takes care of everything. Queen would not have been needed, and so does appear to be a valid non-hero or maybe 1 hero down strategy. Again, looking at the next replay, now we're down to level 6 air defenses, which make this even easier attack. Same thing, level 9 Queen. She's right up next to an air defense. We have expos pointed down, and a little more difficult lure on the clan castle, but again, same army composition. This time I'm going to bring 4 lightning spells. The reason is because while you're learning this, you may miss the Queen with the 3, or you may encounter a Queen that's above level 15, and that 4th lightning spell will take her out all the way up to level 30, I believe, in theory, maybe even higher than that as you approach Town Hall 10 and 11. But 4 is going to be more than enough to take out any Queen at Town Hall 9 when done right. And again, we just want to watch her path and see when she gets to that air defense. You see where she's at now is the point where she's going to end up crossing over right in front of the air defense, and the lightning spells are going to come down on her. Now, since it only takes 3, if it's done right, then you have the 4th lightning spell to take care of either unexpected clan castle troops, or maybe even a better use would be on one of the other air defenses. So let's go ahead and watch as this plays out. She's starting to cross the air defense. Boom, boom, boom. She's zapped out of the way. Everything's done there. Now we just need to worry about the clan castle. And again, you bring 26 loons, which is quite a few, so you can afford to use 2, 3, 4 of them to get a lure, which is what you see there. Just double check the radius before you launch this attack if you're able to, and make sure that you're going to be able to get an effective lure and determine how many loons it's going to take to do that. From there, again, it's starting off with 2 lava hounds. You're going to bring them in at different angles to try to soak up those air traps, a la a typical Laloon attack. And elects to go after this one first after looking at the pattern of the air sweepers. Take that into account. You want to try to get to the air sweepers quickly because they'll slow your attack down. And you also want to try to get the hounds to tank for as many of your loons as possible. Some of these loons are taking fire because they're probably a little early, but you see there, still waiting on that first air defense to go down. The other hound is already into the third one, and the targeted loons are going in. And so again, you don't want to wait too long on things because this is a slow moving attack. You see there the 4th lightning coming in on the last air defense there, and the reason we bring that poison spell is potentially for clan castle kill or also air skelly kill. Either one's going to work. Typically your pups will take care of the air skellies for you, but if you want to get them down a little quicker, go ahead and bring that poison for them. In a war scenario, obviously you're always going to have clan castle troops to deal with, so you might want to look at the double poison. But here we have the poison and the haste, which allows the balloons to get into that last air defense quickly. There's only a few defenses left. The pups are working clean up the whole time as we speed it up here. The only thing that can hurt anything is the archer tower. You see the queen comes in the back side to potentially deal with it, but again, she's not necessary. The Zap Quake or the Zap Queen Laloon was enough without the heroes. And so again, the whole purpose of this is kind of find strategies that are good air strategies as well as ones that may work well when your heroes are down. Last one again here. Pause it real quickly just to get a glimpse of the queen. And again, these are all really low level queens, but it really doesn't matter. This will work with the 3 lightning up to about level 15 with the potential of needing to use the poison spell to finish her off. Anything under that is going to be pretty easy to take care of with 3, and with 4 it's going to be no problem whatsoever. But you can see here again, pretty lureable clan castle, queen right next to the AD. X-bows are, I can't tell from there, they look like they might be up, and so that'll be a good example if they are. But we'll go ahead and watch this one. Notice as the queen paths across the air defense, 3 lightning, she's dead. Still 1 lightning in the bag to use on those. Then it's just a matter of going in with, looks like 3 loons there to lure, and they should also hopefully get a defense down if possible. So 3 is a good number to see. Took down at least an archer tower with that, and hopefully within the range to get that lure done, which it was. Lava hounds coming in from a couple different angles to soak up some of those air traps. Don't want those air bombs obviously to hit your loons since they're splash damage. You want those seeking air mines to hit your loons because they're single target, and that's exactly what happened here. And then just working in a clockwise pattern around the base with the Laloon. Go ahead and speed things up here a little bit. You see there's 3 hounds going on 1 air defense, and 4th one comes into the last one. Lightning spell's going to go down to help speed that up, and there's just going to be a lot of lava hounds and pups bursting. You see there's still 2 hounds up. They're going to continue to tank for the loons around the whole way. And obviously the better scenario would have been if they would have busted and helped with the cleanup, but there another one does because it gets hit with an air trap. And so now you got plenty of pups in there ready to clean up. Again, do not need the queen. She's just there for backup, but there would have been more than enough time, and she's just not necessary. And so that was the purpose of me testing out this strategy that I had heard about, was getting to the point where upgrades are kind of going non-stop with Queen and BK, and hate opting out of war all the time. So if we can find some ways around that, that'd be great. There you go. That'll do it for this little theory crafting attack strategy video using the Queen ZAP strategy. Obviously you can do it with level 5 lightning. You might want to just do some testing to see how high of a level you're able to take out with that, and you most likely will need to back that up with a poison spell. Best scenario, especially at Town Hall 9 if you intend to use this strategy, is to have the max level 6 lightning spells. But there you go, Zap Queen works, no heroes needed, and 3-star strategy that you can use in war or farming or whatever you want. this video is helpful, I encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like, you can also follow us on Twitter at ClashWithTAF. That's the handle, at ClashWithTAF, which of course stands for The Allfather. That's me. Until next time, everybody, take care.